So we have seen many examples of overloading the binary as well as unary operators. So the compiler can distinguish between overloaded operators by looking at the data type of their operands. So suppose we have two integer variables int a and b, and we have two variables of user defined data type distance, dist a, dist d1 comma dist d2. So we can write a plus b, and we can also write d1 plus d2 if we have overloaded this plus operator. Now how the compiler distinguishes whether I have to use the normal uh, behavior of this addition operator, or I have to use the overloaded behavior of this operator. This is decided by compiler by looking at the data types of the operands. Here the data types are the predefined data types, and here the data types are user defined data types. Okay. So if the operand is a basic type such as int, as in plus plus int variable, where int variable is a normal variable of type int variable, then it will use the normal increment operator. So it will use the built-in routine to increment an integer, right? But if the operand is a counter variable, then the compiler will look at the definition of this operator plus plus, this function, okay, and use this function to define the behavior of this plus plus operator, okay. And this we have also seen that this is the count class, uh, this whole class, this is the counter class, and in this counter class we have our data member count, and we also have this operator plus plus. We have overloaded this plus plus operator by incrementing the count, okay. So when we have this statement in the main function plus plus c1, this statement causes the function, this function, to be operated, okay. And this function operates because it sees the data type of C1. C1 data type is not the predefined data type, it is the user defined data type. So instead of calling the built-in plus plus function, it will call the user defined function operator plus plus. It will be called, and here what are we doing? We will increment the count variable, okay. And this has also been seen by us. It is overloading the binary operators. Distance d3 is equal to distance d1 and distance d2. Okay, so when we encounter this statement, again the compiler sees that these are not the built-in data types, these are the user-defined data types. So it will look for the overloaded plus operator behavior, where we have defined this behavior for this overloaded plus operator. Okay, so it will look for this definition. So this statement causes this object to be added to this object with this function. So it will cause distance d1 and distance d2 to be added, okay, with the help of this function, okay. And the value returned will be assigned to this object, okay. And there is a rule of thumb: an overloaded operator always requires one less argument than the number of its operands, since one operand is the object of which the operator is a member. This we have seen, I have told you multiple times when we were implementing the functions, implementing the programs, that one of the argument, if we write d1 plus d2, then we need to pass only the second argument, because the first argument will be passed implicitly, because we are calling this overloaded plus operator through this d1, and the second operator we have to pass, okay. Therefore there is always one less number of arguments than the number of operands. And that is why unary operators require no arguments, because there we write plus plus c1, and when we overload it, then it was just void operator plus plus, and there was no argument here. Okay, and there is also another this restriction on certain operators which cannot be overloaded. So what are the operators which cannot be overloaded? The member access or dot operator. Where we use this dot operator? We use this dot operator to access the member of a class. For example, d1 dot get show distance or something like that. If there is a function called show distance, then we will call this show distance function through this member access operator. And this d1, what is d1? This is the name of the object, and this is the name of the member of the class. Okay, and then the second operator is scope resolution operator. This is used to resolve the ambiguity. Okay, so for example, if you have two classes A and B, both of these classes have a data number A, and this is inherited by class C. So now C has two versions of A, one from this class A, one from this class B. So when we write, when create an object of class C, C1, then we write C1 dot A equal to 10. Then here is an ambiguity to which A you are referring, and it can be resolved using the scope resolution operator. C1 dot A scope resolution A. It means we are referring to the A which we got from this base class A. And if I write C1 dot A scope resolution, B scope resolution operator A, it means I am referring to this A which I got from class B. Okay, so this cannot be overloaded. And conditional operator, which returns true or false, which executes one of the statements depending on whether the condition is true or false. Okay, if it is true, then this statement will be executed. If it is false, this statement will be executed. This operator can also not be overloaded. The pointer to member operator, this is also used to access the members of a class, but not using the object, but using a pointer to an object. So first let me erase this ink. Okay, so in case you wondered, no, you cannot create new operators like star and try to overload them. Only the existing operators can be overloaded. You cannot create your own new operators by combining some of the symbols, okay, like this. And at the last, these are the references for this chapter on operator overloading.